What's something people don't know about the power of Quran recitation? Let me take you on a journey through Ayan's story. Ayan was a boy filled with joy. His laughter was infectious, and his smile could light up any room. Whether he was playing with his friends in the park or simply enjoying the warmth of the sun, Ayan's happiness was evident to everyone around him. He lived in a bustling city. The streets were always alive with the sounds of people going about their daily lives, cars honking and children playing. Despite the chaos, Ayan found beauty in the city's energy and vibrancy. The city was full of life and noise. Markets were crowded with vendors selling their goods, and the air was filled with the aroma of street food. The hustle and bustle of the city were a constant backdrop to Ayan's life, providing a dynamic environment that was both exciting and overwhelming. But Ayan found peace in the Quran. He loved its verses. In the quiet moments of his day, he would retreat to a serene corner of his home, away from the city's clamor, and immerse himself in the sacred text. The words of the Quran brought him a sense of calm and tranquility that he cherished deeply. He would recite them with his small voice. Each word he spoke was filled with reverence and devotion. His voice, though young, carried a depth of emotion that touched the hearts of those who heard him. It was as if the verses of the Quran were meant to be spoken by him. His voice was pure and melodic. Ayan's parents were proud. They nurtured his passion. They encouraged him to continue his studies and supported him in every way possible. Their pride in their son's dedication to his faith was evident in their eyes and their actions. Every day, Ayan learned more about his faith. He attended classes at the local mosque, where he eagerly absorbed the teachings of his religion. His curiosity and eagerness to learn were boundless, and he was always asking questions and seeking deeper understanding. He felt the power of the Quran in his heart. The words resonated with him on a profound level, filling him with a sense of purpose and connection to something greater than himself. This spiritual bond gave him strength and guidance in his daily life. He wanted to share this feeling with everyone. Ayan believed that the peace and joy he found in the Quran were gifts meant to be shared. He would often gather his friends and speak to them about the verses he loved, hoping to inspire them to find the same solace and happiness in their faith. One summer, Ayan's family decided to embark on a memorable trip. They had been planning this journey for weeks, and the excitement was palpable. The car was packed with everything they might need, from clothes to snacks, and even Ayan's favorite books. The family was ready for an adventure. Their destination was a place close to their hearts, Ayan's grandparents' home. It had been a while since they last visited, and the anticipation of reuniting with loved ones made the trip even more special. The thought of spending time with his grandparents filled Ayan with joy. The grandparents lived in a quaint, picturesque village. The village was known for its traditional houses and serene environment. It was a stark contrast to the bustling city life that Ayan was used to. The simplicity and tranquility of the village always brought a sense of peace to the family. The journey to the village was quite long, stretching over several hours. As they drove further away from the city, the landscape began to change. The tall buildings and crowded streets gradually gave way to open fields and winding country roads. The transition was a beautiful sight to behold. Ayan couldn't contain his excitement. He loved looking out the window, watching the scenery change. He was especially thrilled about seeing his grandparents again. He had so many stories to share with them, and he couldn't wait to hear their tales as well. One of the things Ayan was most eager to share was his newfound love for the Quran. He had been studying it diligently and wanted to recite some of his favorite verses to his grandparents. The journey, though long, was filled with moments of reflection and anticipation. As they continued their drive, the landscape kept changing. The busy city streets were now a distant memory, replaced by the quiet and calm of the countryside. The rolling hills and vast fields were a refreshing change, and the family enjoyed the scenic beauty. However, as they neared the village, the weather took an unexpected turn. The sky, which had been clear and bright, started to darken ominously. Thick, stormy clouds gathered, casting a shadow over the landscape. It was clear that a storm was approaching. The wind began to howl, and soon heavy rain started to pour down. The once peaceful drive turned into a challenging journey through the storm. The family remained calm, knowing that they were close to their destination. Despite the weather, their spirits were high, and they looked forward to the warmth and comfort of their grandparents' home. The storm grew fierce. The wind howled through the trees, bending their branches and sending leaves flying in all directions. The rain pounded against the car windows, creating a symphony of nature's raw power. It was a night that seemed to have no end, with the storm showing no signs of relenting. The family's car could not continue. The wheels spun helplessly in the mud, and the engine sputtered before falling silent. Inside the car, the family exchanged worried glances. The parents tried to stay calm for the sake of their children, but the fear was evident in their eyes. They were stranded in the middle of nowhere, with the storm raging around them. They saw a small mosque in the distance. Its lights shone like a beacon through the rain, offering a glimmer of hope in the darkness. The minaret stood tall, a silent guardian watching over the weary travelers. The family knew they had to reach it, for it was their only chance of finding shelter from the storm. They decided to seek shelter there. Gathering their belongings, they braved the elements, running through the wind and rain. Each step was a struggle, the ground slippery and treacherous. The rain soaked them to the bone, but they pressed on, driven by the need to find safety. They ran through the wind and rain. The storm seemed to intensify with every passing moment, as if trying to push them back. But the family was determined. They clung to each other, supporting one another as they made their way towards the mosque. The sight of the illuminated building gave them strength, a reminder that they were not alone. They were grateful to be inside the mosque. The warmth and dryness of the interior were a stark contrast to the chaos outside. They took a moment to catch their breath, their hearts still racing from the ordeal. The family members helped each other dry off, their spirits lifting as they realized they were safe. It was a simple place, but it was welcoming. The mosque was empty, its quiet interior offering a sense of peace and tranquility. The walls were adorned with beautiful calligraphy, and the soft glow of the lamps created a serene atmosphere. It was a sanctuary, a place where they could find solace and refuge from the storm. Ayan's father suggested they pray. Ayan opened his Quran. He began to recite. The family gathered around, their hearts united in faith and gratitude. The words of the Quran filled the air, a reminder of their beliefs and the strength they drew from them. It was a moment of connection, not just with each other, but with something greater. His voice echoed in the quiet mosque. The sound reverberated off the walls, creating a beautiful resonance that seemed to fill the entire space. It was as if the mosque itself was joining in the prayer, amplifying the boy's voice and carrying it to the heavens. The family listened, their hearts swelling with pride and peace. It was a voice filled with faith and peace. Ayan's recitation was more than just words. It was an expression of their resilience and hope. In that moment, the storm outside seemed distant and insignificant. Inside the mosque, they found not just shelter, but a sense of community and strength. They were reminded that even in the darkest of times, there is always light to be found. The storm raged outside, but inside the mosque, there was a sense of tranquility. Ayan's recitation was captivating. His voice rose and fell with the rhythm of the verses. He poured his heart into every word. Unknowingly, villagers were gathering outside. They had also sought shelter from the storm. The mosque's door was slightly ajar. They could hear Ayan's voice. They were drawn to the beauty of his recitation. The villagers had never heard the Quran recited like this. It touched their hearts. They felt a sense of peace they had never felt before. The storm seemed to fade away as they listened. When Ayan finished, there was silence. Then the villagers slowly entered the mosque. Their faces were filled with awe. They had many questions for Ayan. They wanted to learn more about the Quran. Ayan was surprised to see the villagers. He was happy to share his vast knowledge. He began to teach them what he knew. He taught them about the words of the Quran. He taught them about its message of peace and love. The villagers were eager students. They came to the mosque every single day. They listened to Ayan's recitation. They learned the verses. They felt their lives changing for the better. One day, a visiting scholar came to the village. He was a renowned Islamic teacher. He was impressed by the villagers' newfound faith. He was even more impressed by Ayan. He saw the young boy's dedication. He saw his passion for the Quran. The scholar spoke to Ayan's parents. He offered to take Ayan as his student. He believed Ayan could become a great scholar. Ayan's parents were hesitant, but they knew this was a rare opportunity. Ayan was sad to leave his family and village, but he was excited to learn from the scholar. He promised the villagers he would return. He would continue to teach them. And so, Ayan journeyed with the scholar to a prestigious Islamic university. Years passed. Ayan learned and grew. He studied the Quran with dedication. He excelled in his studies. He became known for his knowledge and wisdom. He never forgot his promise to the villagers. Finally, the day came when Ayan completed his studies. He was now a respected scholar. He returned to the village just as he had promised. The villagers welcomed him with open arms. They were overjoyed to see him. Ayan was happy to be back. He saw how the village had flourished. The villagers had continued to study the Quran. They had built a new mosque. It was a testament to their faith. Ayan continued to teach the villagers. He shared his knowledge and wisdom. He inspired them to live by the teachings of the Quran. The village became known for its piety and peace. Ayan's journey was a testament to the power of faith. It showed how one person's passion could transform a community. Ayan's love for the Quran had brought light to the village. His journey was an inspiration to all.